You enter a room and immediately wonder who approves of you. One person smiles and your body. Another looks distant and your mind locks onto them. 10 friendly reactions disappear behind one uncertain face. You replay your words, posture, timing, and tone. You begin adjusting yourself before anyone asks you to. It is the exhausting need to be accepted by everyone. Why does one person's disapproval feel so powerful? Because the human brain was built to monitor belonging. For early humans, social rejection could threaten survival. Being accepted meant protection, food, cooperation, and shared knowledge. Being excluded could mean facing danger alone. So your nervous system learned to treat social judgment seriously. Modern rejection is usually less dangerous, but the alarm remains ancient. Your body can react to criticism like a real social emergency. That is why approval can feel like safety. Children study adults to learn which behaviors keep connection close. One child receives warmth when they are quiet and helpful. Another is praised mainly for winning, achieving, or behaving perfectly. A third learns that disagreement creates tension or withdrawal. The brain turns these experiences into invisible rules. Do not disappoint people. Become useful enough that nobody leaves. These rules may once have protected an important relationship. You begin treating every interaction like an emotional performance. You scan the room before deciding which version of yourself to show. With one person, you become funny. With another, endlessly capable. Your personality changes to reduce the chance of rejection. But it can also make you feel emotionally homeless. Everyone meets a version of you, but nobody meets the whole person. Approval reaches the mask while your real self stays uncertain. You may receive compliments and still feel fraudulent. You think they only like the person you performed. So you work harder to maintain the image. This creates approval addiction. Approval gives a short burst of relief. Relief fades and uncertainty quickly returns. Then you search for another compliment, invitation, or reassuring message. Your self-worth becomes dependent on external signals. A delayed reply can lower your mood. A small criticism can erase an entire successful day. A stranger's opinion can feel more important than your own experience. Your brain begins outsourcing identity to the crowd. Likes, views, reactions, and follower counts become visible approval signals. The numbers create the illusion that acceptance can be calculated. Then ordinary silence starts feeling like public failure. You may post something honest, then immediately question it. You edit, delete, repost, and monitor every reaction. The content matters less than what the response seems to say about you. You see people who appear more attractive, confident, successful, or loved. Their public image becomes evidence against your private self. You assume they are naturally accepted while you must earn every place. But you are comparing their presentation with your inner uncertainty. The comparison is structurally unfair from the beginning. Approval seeking also changes decision-making. You stop asking what you actually want. You ask what choice will disappoint the fewest people. Your life becomes organized around avoiding other people's discomfort. But kindness and self-erasure are not the same. People-pleasing is often fear trying to look generous. You say yes before checking your energy. You apologize when you have done nothing wrong. You explain simple boundaries as if defending yourself in court. You accept unfair behavior because confrontation feels dangerous. If someone is disappointed, you assume you failed. If someone is quiet, you search for what you did wrong. If someone disagrees, you feel pressure to repair the connection immediately. This creates a constant emotional workload. You rehearse messages repeatedly before sending them. You change opinions depending on who is listening. You feel guilty after saying no. You overcommit, then secretly resent the people you agreed to help. You avoid sharing good news because someone might feel uncomfortable. You hide problems because you do not want to seem difficult. You need reassurance after normal conversation. You feel responsible for keeping every room emotionally comfortable. You are more afraid of being disliked than of abandoning yourself. Resentment builds because your needs keep losing. Relationships become unequal because others learn you will always adjust. Decision-making becomes exhausting because every choice has an imaginary audience. Your confidence weakens because you rarely practice trusting yourself. And eventually, you may not know what you want without feedback. So how do you stop needing universal approval? First, accept the mathematical impossibility of being liked by everyone. Being honest will please some and disappoint others. Disapproval is not always evidence of wrongdoing. Sometimes it is simply evidence that two people are different. Second, separate discomfort from danger. Someone can be unhappy with your boundary while the relationship remains safe. Let their reaction exist without immediately fixing it. Your nervous system learns through surviving small moments of disapproval. Third, delay automatic agreement. Replace immediate yes with time to think. Even a short pause returns choice to your body. Fourth, build an internal reference point. Ask what you believe before checking what everyone else believes. Write down your values, limits, needs, and priorities. Use them as a compass when reactions become loud. Fifth, practice being accurately known. Share one honest preference even when it differs from the group. Let trusted people see uncertainty instead of constant competence. Real intimacy requires enough truth to create a real relationship. Sixth, stop over-explaining normal boundary. A respectful no does not require a courtroom argument. Clear language feels uncomfortable at first because it removes performance, but clarity is kinder than resentful agreement. Finally, choose whose opinions deserve influence. Feedback from everyone is not equally informed, caring, or relevant. Give weight to people who know your values and want your growth. Let random judgment remain random. You do not become cruel when you stop managing every reaction. Some people may like you less when you stop performing. But the people who remain can finally know who stayed. The goal is to stop disappearing for their approval. You are allowed to be kind without being controlled. You are allowed to disappoint someone without becoming a bad person. Being liked feels good, but being real creates a life you can inhabit. Not everyone will approve of that life. But for the first time, you might. You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. You laugh at the right moments, answer questions, and seem present. But inside, you feel strangely invisible. No one has left the room, yet connection feels missing. It is not always the absence of people. Sometimes it is the absence of being emotionally known. Your brain can count faces and still detect no real safety. That is why a crowded room can feel emptier than silence. Loneliness is not measured by how many people surround you. It is measured by the distance between connection wanted and connection received. Two people can have identical social lives and feel completely different. One feels supported, the other feels unnoticed. Human beings need more than conversation. We need signs that our inner world matters to someone. We need to feel recognized, understood, and safe enough to be real. When those signals are missing, the nervous system notices. It begins asking a painful question: am I alone here? Sometimes you feel lonely because you are performing instead of connecting. You choose the version of yourself that causes the least trouble. You smile when you are tired and agree when you feel uncertain. You hide disappointment, fear, anger, and uncomfortable needs. People respond warmly to the version you presented. But their approval may not reach the person underneath. You are seen, yet the real you remains hidden. The better the performance works, the lonelier you may become. Everyone appears to like you, but you do not feel known. You may even think they would leave if they saw everything. So each successful interaction strengthens the mask. The mask protects you from rejection. but it also blocks the intimacy you are waiting for. Emotional connection requires some accurate information about who you are. If every answer is edited, others can only meet the edit. It means closeness cannot grow without small moments of honesty. Another cause is emotional mismatch. You may have people available, but not in the way you need. Someone gives advice when you need understanding. Someone makes jokes when you need seriousness. Someone changes the subject when emotions become uncomfortable. They may care, but their response still leaves you alone. Your brain remembers whether reaching out produced comfort or disappointment. After enough disappointing attempts, you may stop trying. You tell yourself that nobody understands. Then you become quieter, even around people who might listen. You expect disconnection, so you reveal less. Because you reveal less, connection stays shallow. The shallow connection confirms your original expectation. If vulnerability once led to criticism, silence may feel safe. If your needs were ignored, needing anyone may feel embarrassing. If closeness was unpredictable, trust may feel dangerous. Your nervous system learns from emotional patterns, not promises. It may react to kind people using rules learned from unkind ones. You can want connection while automatically protecting yourself from it. That conflict often feels like loneliness without an obvious cause. You may sit beside someone loving and still feel unreachable. Sometimes an old defense is keeping every door half closed. Social media can intensify the feeling. You see friendships, celebrations, vacations, and effortless laughter. Other people's lives appear full while yours feels emotionally quiet. But you are comparing your inner experience with their public evidence. You see the photograph, not the tension before it. You see the group, not who felt ignored inside it. Your brain treats visible activity as proof of belonging. Then your ordinary evening begins looking like social failure. You may scroll for connection and leave feeling more excluded. Passive observation gives social information without mutual emotional exchange. You witness other lives, but nobody witnesses yours. Another factor is the fear of burdening people. You may believe your feelings are too heavy or inconvenient. You reduce your pain into something easy to hear. You say you are fine when you mean you are struggling. The loneliness grows because nobody responds to the hidden message. You may secretly hope someone will notice without being told. When they do not, it feels like proof they do not care. But people cannot always detect what you carefully conceal. Unspoken needs can become invisible tests that others unknowingly fail. When you feel excluded, your brain becomes more alert to rejection. A delayed reply seems colder than it really is. A small disagreement feels like the beginning of abandonment. Your brain scans for evidence that you do not belong. Then you withdraw to avoid more pain. Unfortunately, withdrawal removes opportunities for corrective experiences. The protective action keeps the original fear alive. You leave conversations feeling more tired than connected. You know many people but contact nobody when something important happens. You give support easily but feel uncomfortable receiving it. You are entertaining, helpful, or calm but rarely honest. You disappear during difficult periods and return when you seem fine. You assume other people have closer relationships than you do. You mistake being included for being understood. They suggest your connection system is not receiving what it needs. So how do you reduce loneliness without forcing fake closeness? First, stop counting people and start evaluating emotional safety. Ask who allows you to be imperfect without punishment. Notice who listens without immediately correcting or competing. One emotionally safe person can matter more than a crowded contact list. Second, practice small honesty instead of dramatic disclosure. Admit when something mattered more than you expected. Share one true sentence and observe how it is received. Trust grows through repeated accurate experiences, not one giant confession. Third, make direct requests instead of invisible tests. Say, "I need listening more than advice right now." Ask someone to spend time with you instead of waiting silently. Clear requests give caring people a real chance to respond. Fourth, create connection through repetition. Familiarity gives strangers time to become emotionally meaningful. Most closeness grows slowly through ordinary, repeated contact. Fifth, reduce passive comparison when you already feel excluded. Choose one real message over 30 minutes of silent scrolling. Sixth, notice when old defenses enter a new relationship. Ask whether the present person is unsafe or merely unfamiliar. Finally, remember that loneliness is a signal, not an identity. It does not mean you are unlovable or permanently disconnected. It means some part of you is asking for meaningful contact. You do not need everyone to understand you. You need a few relationships where hiding is not required. The room may be crowded, but connection begins with one honest moment. Let someone meet the person behind the performance. Being known is frightening, but remaining unseen has a cost. You are not asking for too much by wanting emotional closeness. You are asking for one of the most human things possible. At midnight, Maya remembers humiliation from 7 years ago. Nearly asleep, she feels the old scenes suddenly revive. Her awkward words replay with painfully perfect, cruel clarity. Maya imagines everyone judging her, though they probably forgot. Her body reacts as if the embarrassment happens again. Her face warms, stomach tightens, and sleep disappears completely. Why does her brain choose the quietest hour now? Night removes distractions and turns memory into private theater. The replay is not random, meaningless, or completely accidental. Her brain tries protecting her with an outdated alarm. During daytime, movement and decisions occupy Maya's full attention. Messages, traffic, conversations, and tasks compete for mental space. At night, distractions fade, making her inner world louder. The brain's default mode network becomes noticeably more active. It reflects on self, relationships, memories, and possible futures. Useful reflection can become repetitive, exhausting emotional investigation quickly. Her mind scans unfinished social moments for hidden danger. One awkward laugh outweighs an otherwise completely pleasant day. Her brain asks whether she unknowingly broke social rules. Then it reconstructs the event from every possible angle. She remembers standing, speaking, and who looked away nearby. Perfect alternative responses appear inside parallel thought bubbles nearby. This feels productive but becomes pointless mental time travel. The brain confuses repetition with solving what cannot change. Replaying feels like repairing, but nothing truly gets fixed. Embarrassment is a painful form of social threat response. Social pain activates systems linked with physical pain pathways. For early humans, rejection threatened protection, food, and belonging. The brain learned treating social mistakes as survival information. An awkward moment could damage acceptance and group status. Modern life is safer, but ancient alarms still activate. One forgotten joke can trigger fears of tribal rejection. Her brain warns against risking exclusion, not declaring stupidity. The outdated alarm greatly exaggerates the actual social threat. The spotlight effect intensifies how visible Maya feels socially. She overestimates how closely others notice her behavior daily. She experiences herself from her own attention's central position. Everyone else experiences themselves from their own central position. Their minds focus on personal mistakes, worries, and insecurities. Her awkward sentence may vanish from others' memories instantly. The frowning person may feel tired, distracted, or uncomfortable. Still, Maya interprets one expression as permanent social judgment. Her mind creates a courtroom with 3 impossible roles. Without outside evidence, the imaginary trial never truly ends. Memory functions differently from how most people commonly imagine. It is not perfectly stored like an internal recording. Each recollection reconstructs the experience from scattered mental fragments. Real details mix with emotions, assumptions, and missing information. Tonight's memory may feel harsher than the original event. Present insecurity paints the old memory with darker shadows. Each replay can add reactions that never actually happened. She may not remember the original moment accurately anymore. Instead, she remembers her brain's most recent reconstructed version. This changing process is known as memory reconsolidation today. Reactivated memories become flexible and emotionally reshapable again temporarily. Flexibility supports healing, while rumination can create distortion instead. The scene becomes sharper, darker, and increasingly personally meaningful. Another influence is the brain's powerful negativity bias system. Negative information receives greater attention than positive information usually. Compliments fade quickly, while one criticism survives for years. This bias helped ancestors remember dangers and threatening behavior. Missing pleasure was harmless. Missing danger could prove fatal. The brain stored painful events more strongly than successes. 10 normal conversations cannot silence one awkward sentence tonight. Her brain believes painful memories contain urgent survival information. It magnifies mistakes while ignoring everything she handled well. Then shame enters and changes the event's personal meaning. Guilt judges behavior, shame judges the entire person's identity. One small mistake spans into a damaged identity mirror. Instead of learning, Maya begins repeatedly attacking herself emotionally. Self-criticism resembles discipline, but often increases anxiety and avoidance. Threat narrows perspective and blocks flexible creative thinking pathways. Her attention tightens around one embarrassing detail completely alone. This narrowing creates a powerful repeating rumination loop nightly. Memory causes discomfort, and discomfort triggers deeper analysis again. More analysis strengthens emotion, making the memory feel important. Importance triggers another replay, restarting the entire painful cycle. At night, physical stillness allows the loop to strengthen. Few outside signals confirm the old danger is past. Darkness, silence, and fatigue reduce healthy emotional perspective greatly. Small worries feel enormous when her nervous system tires. A tired brain has weaker cognitive control and brakes. Emotional alarms remain active while mental brakes become weaker. Harmless memories can feel catastrophic during exhausted midnight thinking. Forcing thoughts away can make them return much stronger. The brain interprets suppression as proof of hidden danger. Then it constantly monitors whether the memory stays hidden. Monitoring requires repeatedly activating the memory inside awareness again. This creates the ironic and frustrating rebound effect immediately. The harder she resists thinking, the more thoughts multiply. Fortunately, Maya can interrupt replay without fighting the memory. First, she names what is happening in simple language. My brain is running an old social threat replay. This creates distance without denying her very real emotion. Second, separate the event from its dramatic interpretation clearly. The event was simply using one incorrect word publicly. The interpretation says everyone now considers her completely incompetent. Only the simple event is directly supported by evidence. Third, imagine someone loved making the identical human mistake. She would respond with kindness, perspective, and realistic understanding. Maya gives herself the same gentle interpretation she offers. Fourth, she completes the lesson, then closes the case. She writes one sentence about responding differently next time. A clear lesson tells her brain processing is complete. Fifth, Maya adds a healthier ending to the memory. She imagines recovering, smiling, continuing, and remaining socially accepted. This does not pretend the original mistake never happened. It teaches her brain embarrassment is survivable, not fatal. Sixth, Maya returns attention toward present physical sensations gently. She feels the mattress, breathes slowly, and relaxes tension. Her body sends evidence that she is safe now. Awkwardness is the unavoidable price of participating in life. People avoiding embarrassment often avoid speaking, creating, and connecting. Her memory proves she participated instead of hiding away. Others forget because they replay their own mistakes nightly. The younger person she punishes no longer exists unchanged. She has learned, changed, and outgrown that earlier version. The past may knock, but it deserves no keys. Notice the memory, keep the lesson, then let go. You are not your tired brain's worst remembered moment. Mia finally sits down, but her mind remains busy. The room stays quiet, yet an alarm starts inside. Unfinished tasks and unanswered messages circle around her head. Rest begins feelings less restorative and more like failure. Her exhausted body relaxes while thoughts demand more proof. Proof she is useful, disciplined, and not falling behind. Mia reopens her laptop, although her attention has vanished. She calls it responsibility, though fear hides underneath professionally. Why does stillness feel dangerous when nothing is wrong? Because productivity became deeply connected with Mia's personal worth. Achievement brought praise, forming one simple internal equation gradually. Work brings approval, and approval begins feeling like safety. Eventually, that equation becomes embedded inside Mia's identity itself. She believes completing tasks is what makes her valuable. One pause button appears between her work and identity. Rest now seems to pause her work, not activity. A quiet afternoon feels like disappearing from life's scoreboard. This painful pattern is commonly called productivity guilt today. The finish line keeps moving, making enough feel impossible. One completed task immediately creates 3 more demanding tasks. Rewards last seconds before the pressure quickly returns again. Productivity becomes a treadmill cleverly disguised as forward progress. Modern culture strongly celebrates visible effort and constant busyness. Busy people receive labels like ambitious, important, and successful. People compare overflowing schedules like trophies proving their commitment. Overwhelm sounds respectable while resting often feels socially embarrassing. Meanwhile, Mia's recovery remains hidden behind an invisible curtain. Her brain favors actions that leave visible, measurable evidence. Emails, checkmarks, hours, and charts build a public tower. Rest protects future performance without producing an immediate trophy. This biases Mia toward short-term proof over long-term health. Family messages can quietly strengthen this guilt pattern further. Young Mia receives warmth mainly after performing very well. She learns usefulness and achievement keep love close nearby. Years later, stopping work immediately produces guilt inside her. An old lesson whispers that she must earn belonging. Rest activates fears of laziness, failure, and disappointing others. Her nervous system may also misread stillness as danger. Constant urgency trains Mia's body to expect high activation. When pressure stops, her body may not feel peaceful. Calm feels unfamiliar, so her brain searches for problems. Then it creates tasks, worries, or imagined future emergencies. Mia thinks she cannot relax because work remains unfinished. Sometimes she creates more work because relaxation feels unsafe. The Zeigarnik effect makes unfinished tasks mentally stay active. Unfinished tasks often glow brighter than completed ones mentally. During rest, those signals become easier to hear clearly. One unfinished email can invade her entire peaceful evening. Then perfectionism arrives, carrying an impossible measuring ruler everywhere. There is always another improvement, detail, or future risk. Rest feels undeserved because standards stay permanently unreachable anyway. Her body rests while her mind stands inside work. Social comparison multiplies Mia's guilt through her glowing phone. She sees someone launching a successful business online today. Another person appears exercising before sunrise every morning consistently. Someone else seems to learn, travel, and succeed simultaneously. Mia compares polished highlights with her most exhausted moment. Suddenly, recovery looks weak instead of necessary and healthy. She cannot see their support, debt, exhaustion, or editing. Her brain turns their images into judgments about pace. Rest becomes proof she is losing an invisible rate. Several common warning signs reveal this productivity guilt clearly. Mia feels anxious during free time without knowing why. She turns hobbies into goals, into improvement projects. Entertainment feels wasteful, so educational content becomes compulsory instead. Mia checks work messages during meals, weekends, and conversations. She apologizes for sleeping, pausing, or changing her plan. A completely full calendar creates temporary emotional relief inside. Other people's guilt-free relaxation can make Mia feel irritated. Their ease challenges rules she has followed for years. Mia creates unnecessary chores before allowing herself simple pleasure. First clean, answer everything, and prepare for tomorrow completely. Only after finishing everything may she finally rest briefly. But tomorrow always creates another condition before rest begins. Eventually, this pattern damages productivity it tries protecting most. Chronic pressure reduces attention, creativity, memory, and decision quality. An exhausted brain works longer while producing increasingly less. Small tasks become heavier, increasing procrastination and avoidance behaviors. Then guilt grows because Mia continues avoiding necessary work. More guilt creates pressure, and pressure creates deeper exhaustion. Burnout does not prove how deeply Mia truly cared. It often means recovery arrived much too late instead. So how can Mia rest without feeling like failure? First, redefine rest as part of every work cycle. Muscles grow during recovery, not during moments of strain. Memory strengthens when the brain receives quiet processing time. Creative solutions often appear after attention releases the problem. Rest and progress are connected, not opposing forces ever. Recovery is a biological condition making real progress possible. Second, give every rest period clear boundaries and structure. Undefined breaks can feel like completely losing personal control. Choose 30 minutes one evening or a calming ritual. Structure helps anxious brains experience rest as intentional recovery. Third, close small mental loops before stopping work completely. Write unfinished tasks instead of carrying them mentally everywhere. Choose each next action and when work will resume. This tells the brain tasks are stored, not abandoned. Fourth, notice the voice accusing me of being lazy. Ask whose voice it resembles and what it prevents. It may guard against criticism that no longer exists. Thank the alarm, but never surrender complete control again. Fifth, practice activities without any measurable outcome attached whatsoever. Walk freely without tracking distance, speed, or calories today. Draw something privately that nobody will ever see online. Listen to music without converting it into self-improvement work. Let small pleasures exist without becoming public evidence afterward. 6. Measure energy instead of tracking only visible output. Ask whether today's pace supports tomorrow's continuing Sustainable days may look modest but build stronger lives. Finally, separate human worth from usefulness and constant achievement. Mia remains a whole person before completing any task. She remains worthy with full inboxes and low energy. Rest does not make Mia less ambitious or capable. It teaches ambition how to survive for much longer. The goal is not earning permission for every pause. Stop treating exhaustion as the price of belonging somewhere. Her value remains steady when every work screen closes. Sometimes responsibility means calmly closing the laptop and stopping. Let the body recover before shutdown becomes unavoidable entirely. Mia may rest before exhaustion becomes impossible to ignore.
Someone ignores your message, and suddenly they occupy your entire mind. You check your phone again, even though nothing has changed. You replay the conversation, searching for the exact moment you failed. The stranger part is this: attention once felt completely ordinary, but the moment it disappears, your brain starts treating it like treasure. Sometimes it is a psychological loop built from uncertainty and reward. Your brain hates unfinished stories more than it hates disappointing endings. So silence becomes a puzzle, and you become desperate to solve it. That is how being ignored can make someone feel strangely irresistible. Psychologists call part of this pattern intermittent reinforcement. A predictable reward feels good, but an unpredictable reward feels addictive. Imagine a button that gives you a prize every single time. After a while, pressing it becomes boring because the outcome is certain. Now imagine the prize appears randomly after many empty attempts. Suddenly, every press carries tension, hope, and a possible surprise. Social attention can work exactly like that unpredictable reward button. One warm message becomes the prize hidden among hours of silence. Your brain remembers the reward and forgets the frustration around it. Then you begin waiting for the next tiny sign of interest. A delayed reply feels more powerful because you worked emotionally for it. This is why inconsistent attention can feel stronger than steady affection. Chaos creates intensity, and intensity is often mistaken for connection. Another force is the scarcity effect. We naturally assign more value to things that seem limited or unavailable. When someone is always available, your brain stops measuring their presence. When they pull away, their attention suddenly appears rare and valuable. The person did not necessarily become better, kinder, or more compatible. Only their availability changed, yet your perception changed with it. Scarcity tells your brain, act now before this opportunity disappears. That message can override logic, standards, and even self-respect. You may chase someone you would not choose under calmer conditions. The chase itself creates the illusion that the prize must be important. After all, why would you struggle for something with no value? So your brain protects the chase by inventing reasons to continue. It remembers their best moments and edits out the uncomfortable ones. Uncertainty also triggers what scientists call reward prediction error. Your brain constantly compares what it expected with what actually happened. An unexpected message creates a stronger reaction than an expected message. That is why one midnight reply can erase an entire day of silence. The emotional spike becomes evidence that the connection must be special. But the spike may come from surprise, not genuine compatibility. Your nervous system feels excitement, while your mind calls it destiny. This confusion is common because anxiety and attraction share physical signals. Both can create racing thoughts, alertness, tension, and intense focus. Your body says something important is happening, but not what it means. Then your imagination fills the missing information with a flattering story. You assume they are busy, afraid, damaged, mysterious, or secretly overwhelmed. This creates an open loop inside your mind. An open loop is any unfinished situation your brain keeps revisiting. Completed experiences fade, but incomplete experiences remain mentally active. That is why unanswered messages can feel louder than honest rejection. Rejection closes the door, while silence leaves it slightly open. And a slightly open door can consume more energy than a locked one. Your ego also becomes involved. Being ignored can feel like a threat to your social value. Now the goal changes from connection to proving you are worth choosing. You stop asking, "Do I like them?" You start asking, "Why do they not like me enough?" That question turns another person's behavior into a test of your identity. Winning their attention begins to feel like repairing your self-esteem. So every reply offers temporary relief, not lasting security. The relief fades quickly, forcing you to seek another signal. This is how emotional chasing becomes a self-reinforcing habit. Attachment patterns can make the loop even stronger. People with anxious attachment often monitor small changes in emotional distance. Slower reply may feel like danger, not a simple delay. Their nervous system reacts before their reasoning mind can investigate. They may send more messages, apologize unnecessarily, or become overly accommodating. But chasing often pushes emotionally distant people even farther away. That distance creates more anxiety, which creates even more chasing. Two nervous systems can accidentally build a painful feedback loop. One person withdraws to feel control, the other pursues to feel secure. Neither person feels safe, yet both keep repeating the same pattern. Watch for the behavioral signs. These. You check their online status more than you enjoy actual conversations. You analyze punctuation, response time, and the meaning of every emoji. You feel relieved when they reply, then anxious when they disappear again. You cancel your plans because they might suddenly become available. You lower your standards to avoid losing access to their attention. You confuse emotional unpredictability with mystery, depth, or passion. You feel more obsessed during silence than connected during conversation. These are clues that you are reacting to a loop, not intimacy. Some people consciously use this pattern to create control. They give attention, remove it, then return when you begin detaching. The return feels powerful because it interrupts emotional discomfort. You may interpret their timing as proof they somehow sensed your connection. But often, they simply noticed that their influence was weakening. Not every inconsistent person is manipulative. Many are simply unavailable. Still, the effect on your nervous system can be exactly the same. So, how do you break the ignore effect? First, stop measuring interest through rare emotional highs. Measure patterns, consistency, effort, clarity, respect, and emotional safety. One amazing message cannot cancel 10 days of confusing behavior. Second, separate facts from stories. The fact is, they did not reply today. The story, they are secretly afraid of caring too much. Facts create clarity. Stories can keep unhealthy hope alive. Third, interrupt the checking ritual. Move the phone away, disable previews, and choose specific checking times. Every resisted check teaches your brain that uncertainty is survivable. Fourth, write down how the connection actually makes you feel. Do you feel calm, respected, and understood, or mostly anxious, distracted, and desperate for reassurance? Your emotional baseline reveals more than your most exciting moment. Fifth, return attention to your own life. Make plans that do not depend on someone else's availability. Talk to friends who communicate clearly and consistently. Complete difficult tasks that rebuild trust in your own decisions. The goal is not pretending you do not care. The goal is caring without abandoning yourself. Remember that mutual interest rarely requires constant psychological detective work. Healthy connection may feel quieter because your nervous system is not panicking. Peace can seem boring when your brain has learned to chase chaos. But boredom is not the absence of love. Sometimes it is the unfamiliar feeling of emotional safety. When someone ignores you, ask one powerful question. Do I miss this person, or do I miss being chosen? That answer can expose the entire loop. Attention is not affection, uncertainty is not chemistry, and chasing is not love. The right connection will not require you to disappear from yourself.
Ava wanted Leo's attention until he finally returned it. Then the excitement strangely began fading after his affection. Messages once electric suddenly became pale and completely ordinary. Ava starts magnifying tiny flaws she previously ignored completely. Leo offers affection, but Ava experiences it as heaviness. Alone, Ava questions whether her attraction was ever genuine. Sometimes the feelings were real, despite confusing internal patterns. Her brain may crave uncertainty more than actual intimacy. The chase created chemistry that closeness could not sustain. At first, Leo's interest remained distant, foggy, and unclear. Every small message carried possibility, risk, and emotional tension. Ava watched typing dots, unsure when Leo might respond. Uncertainty made every tiny signal feel unusually important emotionally. Her attention locked onto rewards that arrived unpredictably online. Warm messages after silence felt like winning valuable prizes. She checked, imagined, analyzed, and waited for another reply. More effort lifted Leo higher onto an emotional pedestal. Her mind inflated his value to justify relentless chasing. Finally, Leo approached Ava with clear, affectionate intention openly. The mystery ended, and the chase suddenly felt complete. Predictable affection replaced the reward machine's random uncertainty completely. Without uncertainty, the emotional symptoms became noticeably smaller afterward. Calm replaced tension, yet Ava interpreted stillness as emptiness. She worried the chemistry had quietly disappeared between them. Sometimes only anxiety disappears, while genuine connection remains present. If love once felt unstable, safety can feel unfamiliar. Her brain chooses familiar patterns because it recognizes them. People often repeat emotional environments learned during early childhood. Inconsistent affection taught young Ava that love requires chasing. Earned attention can make easy affection feel suspicious later. Ava may trust emotional distance more than sincere kindness. Distance fits neatly inside patterns her brain already understands. Closeness asks Ava to enter unfamiliar emotional territory willingly. Unfamiliar safety can feel scarier than familiar emotional pain. Emotionally unavailable people can therefore appear strangely magnetic sometimes. Their distance activates Ava's hidden need to prove worth. She pursues evidence that she is finally worthy enough. Each tiny message briefly raises her fragile self-esteem meter. Attention temporarily covers an older crack in her identity. Once Leo chooses Ava, the proof has already arrived. The mission ends, so obsession's its previous fuel. Now Ava faces a real relationship instead of fantasy. Fantasy Leo remains polished, controlled, and endlessly emotionally positive. Real Leo brings needs, boundaries, habits, and emotional responsibility. Fantasy lets Ava imagine closeness safely behind emotional glass. Reality allows Leo to see Ava much more clearly. Being seen feels romantic, but also emotionally dangerous sometimes. Closeness exposes Ava's fears, contradictions, and imperfect needs directly. Distant rejection only touches the version Ava carefully presented. Loving closeness lets Leo see behind Ava's protective mask. Vulnerability creates connection, but also creates meaningful emotional risk. Some people protect themselves by losing interest before intimacy. Ava retreats first, preventing any future abandonment by Leo. Her nervous system labels withdrawal as necessary self-protection instead. This approach and retreat pattern commonly appears within avoidant attachment styles. Avoidant attachment never means the person feels absolutely nothing. It reflects learning that closeness brings pressure or disappointment. Love can feel powerful while remaining safely far away. When Leo becomes available, Ava suddenly feels emotionally trapped. Closeness requires communication, compromise, availability, and emotional presence daily. Fantasy partners remain silent and ask absolutely nothing back. Real partners have feelings, boundaries, and needs requiring consideration. Fear of losing independence can also trigger withdrawal quickly. Ava misreads sincere affection as chains, control, or obligation. A simple message suddenly feels like an enormous demand. Shared plans may resemble cages inside Ava's frightened imagination. Her threat system exaggerates ordinary closeness into serious danger. Low self-worth creates another path into emotional withdrawal patterns. Believing herself unlovable makes genuine affection deeply confusing emotionally. Ava wonders why Leo would choose someone like her. Leo's interest lowers his perceived value inside Ava's mind. Difficult, unavailable people often appear unusually impressive and valuable. Available affection can make caring Leos seem less special. This distorted equation confuses difficulty with personal value entirely. Poor self-image bends how Ava perceives Leo's sincere affection. She distrusts Leo because his care contradicts her self-belief. Distant people confirm her negative self-image despite causing pain. Painful consistency can feel safer than unfamiliar emotional contradiction. She pursues uncertainty, then withdraws immediately after commitment arrives. Ava idealizes distant people while criticizing emotionally available partners. Pursuit brings excitement, while closeness begins producing irritation instead. Her attraction returns whenever Leo starts emotionally walking away. Ava creates minor conflicts whenever the relationship becomes peaceful. After reassurance, she searches Leo for hidden character flaws. She confuses emotional intensity with genuine long-term compatibility repeatedly. Ava calls stability boring before allowing safety to develop. She sometimes misses people who previously treated her poorly. Not because love worked, but because chaos remained stimulating. So did attraction disappear, or did fear suddenly appear? First, Ava notices exactly when her feelings suddenly shifted. Did attraction fade after genuine incompatibility revealed itself clearly, or immediately after Leo became openly available to her? Timing reveals whether information or intimacy triggered withdrawal first. Second, Ava learns separating genuine boredom from unfamiliar calm. Boredom feels empty, disconnected, and completely lacking curiosity inside. Calm can include curiosity, warmth, respect, and attraction. Third, avoid decisions during the first withdrawal wave entirely. Give the nervous system time adjusting to stable attention. Unfamiliar safety often feels flat before becoming genuinely comforting. Fourth, Ava identifies what emotional closeness appears to threaten. Does she fear lost freedom, judgment, or eventual abandonment? Name the fear before blaming Leo for creating it. Fifth, evaluate relationships through patterns instead of emotional spikes. Look for kindness, consistency, honesty, values, and mutual effort. These foundations matter more than uncertainty's temporary emotional thrill. Sixth, Ava practices receiving care without immediately retreating emotionally. She accepts compliments without questioning Leo's judgment or sincerity. Ava allows support without proving she needs nobody ever. She stays present when affection creates temporary internal discomfort. Freedom and connection can coexist without forcing wrong relationships. Understand fear carefully before treating it as absolute truth. Real attraction can contain peace, not only endless pursuit. Real intimacy begins when perfect fantasy becomes imperfect humanity. Leo's value does not decrease because he chooses Ava. His affection challenges Ava's beliefs about what she deserves. Sometimes losing interest communicates honest incompatibility or changed desire. Sometimes an old defense wears a very convincing disguise. Before leaving, Ava asks herself one difficult, honest question. Do I dislike Leo or fear being genuinely wanted? That answer may transform every relationship Ava continues chasing.
Tonight, you will probably make a promise to yourself. Tomorrow, you will wake up earlier, stop scrolling, start exercising. Finally, do the thing you have avoided for months. And for a few minutes, you will believe it. But tomorrow arrives, and a different version of you takes control. So who is that person? The lazy you? The weak you? Not exactly. What takes control is an ancient survival system doing precisely what it was designed to do. The disturbing part is that it can make self-sabotage feel completely reasonable while it is happening. Psychologists describe pieces of this pattern with different names: avoidance, negative reinforcement, temporal discounting. But together, they create what we will call the comfort loop. Trigger, discomfort. Escape, relief. Repeat. 5 steps so fast that you rarely notice them. Imagine Alex needs to prepare a presentation. The trigger is simple. He opens the empty document. Immediately, his brain predicts uncertainty. What if the idea is bad? What if people judge him? What if he discovers he is not as capable as he hoped? Nothing bad has actually happened. Yet his shoulders tighten, his chest feels heavy. The task now carries an emotional price. This matters. Procrastination is often not a time management problem. It is an emotion management problem. Alex is not avoiding the document. He is avoiding the feeling attached to it. Then comes escape. Alex checks one notification. He tells himself he needs a quick mental reset. 10 minutes, disappear. Then 30. Notice the trick. His brain does not say, destroy your future. It says, you will perform better after you feel ready. The moment Alex escapes, the tension drops. That tiny wave of relief is the reward. Not pleasure, relief. And the brain learns from rewards. It records a brutally efficient lesson. When this task creates discomfort, scrolling makes the discomfort disappear. Next time, the urge arrives faster. The pathway becomes smoother. Like footsteps across grass becoming a dirt road, repeated escape becomes automatic. Eventually, Alex feels the urge to avoid the task before he has even opened it. The loop has learned to start itself. This is why intelligence does not protect you. In fact, a clever mind may invent better excuses. I need more research. The timing is wrong. I work best under pressure. Intelligence can become the loop's lawyer, defending avoidance with arguments that sound impressively rational. There is another bias at work. Your brain values relief now more strongly than reward later. The presentation finished next week feels abstract. The discomfort in your chest feels immediate. So your present self borrows comfort and sends the bill to your future self. But the bill grows. Guilt joins anxiety. The unfinished task becomes larger in your imagination. Now beginning feels even harder, so you escape again. This is emotional compound interest. Each delay reduces discomfort for a moment, then increases the total discomfort waiting for you. After enough repetitions, behavior becomes identity. You stop saying, I avoided this task, and start saying, I am lazy. That sentence feels like an explanation, but it is actually a cage. If laziness is who you are, every failure becomes evidence, and every success looks like an exception. Here is the twist. You do not break the comfort loop by becoming more motivated. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. You break the loop by changing what happens between discomfort and escape. That tiny space is where your freedom lives. First, name the real emotion. Not, I do not feel like working. Be precise. I am afraid this will be bad. I feel confused about the first step. I resent that I have to do this. A named emotion becomes an experience, not an order. Second, shrink the action until it becomes physical and almost embarrassingly easy. Not work on the presentation. Open the file. Write one ugly headline. Add one empty slide. The brain fears vague mountains. It handles visible stones much better. Third, make a 10-minute contract. You are not promising to finish. You are promising to stay with the discomfort for 10 minutes before choosing whether to stop. This retrains the brain. Discomfort can rise, peak, and fall without requiring escape. And finally, most people wait to feel confident before acting, but confidence usually arrives after evidence. One paragraph written, one difficult call made, one workout completed. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates confidence. Waiting reverses the order and leaves you waiting forever. Then redesign the environment. Put the phone in another room. Leave the document open. Remove one click between you and the good behavior. Add 20 seconds between you and the escape. Willpower argues with temptation. Environment quietly removes the argument. One warning: shame strengthens the loop. Calling yourself useless adds emotional pain, and emotional pain creates a stronger desire to escape. Self-compassion is not letting yourself off the hook. It is removing the extra weight so you can actually move. When you catch yourself escaping, try this sentence: I am not failing. I am feeling discomfort, and my brain is offering an old solution. Then ask, what is the smallest honest action I can take for the next 10 minutes? Not perfect. Honest. The first time this may feel almost pointless. But your brain is always ends use updating its predictions. Every time you remain present and survive the discomfort, you teach it something new. Beginning is not danger. Discomfort is temporary. Escape is optional. Escape is gradually, a new identity forms, not from affirmations, but from receipts. You become someone who can begin while uncertain. Someone who can feel an urge without obeying it. Someone who keeps small promises, especially when nobody is watching. And that is the part nobody tells you. Discipline is not becoming a person who never feels resistance. It is becoming a person who no longer treats resistance as a command. The uncomfortable feeling can ride in the car. It just does not get to drive. Kyushu. So tonight, choose one thing you have been avoiding. Name the feeling. Shrink the step. Set 10 minutes. Then begin before your brain negotiates, because tomorrow, a different version of you may try to take control. But tonight you decide which version gets stronger.